Welcome back to the channel. This time it's a inbox review, but something a little bit different. This isn't something that's just come out and it's not something you're going to see on the shelves of your hobby shop, but I thought it would make an interesting video to have a look inside, so let's get into it. So this is one of the very early Eduard kits that were released a long time ago actually. I think it's roughly around sort of 1994, 95, and they're extremely short run kits. Now I'm not sure whether they were actually making the plastic themselves, it's quite difficult to find the information, but it's certainly an Eduard boxing. And it comes with some quite comprehensive photo etch, to say the least, and a pretty basic plastic model. So here we're looking at the Morane-Saulnier Type N in 1/48 scale, which is a early monoplane used in the First World War by French forces. So you've got two marking options here for Escadrille MS-12, so that's MS-393, flown by Jean Navarre in 1915. And then we've got MS-394, which is probably, as it says here, Escadrille MS-12 in 1915. And it's notable, for the chipping around the cowling. It's quite a well-known feature, so it's a very nice option there. On the back we get quite a lot of information regarding the actual aircraft here, saying a brief history of it, so it's a really great thing to get. It'd be nice if kits still did this. Some do, some don't, but you've even got the technical data down there showing you the wingspan, height, maximum speed and all the rest of it. So a nice little part to have. Now I did buy this one off of a guy on Facebook who couldn't find the decals, so sent me a spare sheet, which I do have here. He says, there it goes on the floor. So he sent me a spare sheet of roundels, hoping that I could pretty much make out what was meant to be in the kit. Then he actually found the decals in a drawer and sent them on to me free of charge, so that's a great thing. So these actually look like they've held up quite well for 1994 print date, as it says here. They're looking pretty good. Obviously you're not going to know until they hit the water. They could shatter into a million pieces, but even if they do, simple enough thing to sort out. It's just the roundels and painting the fin flash, but nice to see just how well they've held up. So let's actually look at the kit. Now I'm going to keep it in the plastic bags, not because I'm collecting it or anything, I'm not going to be building this one anytime soon, so I don't want it really rattling around, but I don't think it causes too much of an issue for you viewing. This is a very short run kit, and that literally is your plastic bit. So you've got fuselage halves, the two wings, the tailplane, and then the cowling. Who knows whether this is going to be a simple build, straightforward, but you know, short run technology, it's going to be, probably we're going to be looking at something relatively difficult that you're going to have to do a little bit of work on, but in the end you're going to have a very nice model, I would think. And I think this one's more about this sort of experience of building it as opposed to anything else, just kind of enjoying a very old school model. So there you go. If you've got one of these in your stash or you see one about, it may be worth picking up. We'll get into the goodies in a minute. As you can see, it is very basic. The rest of it, the cockpit, the engine and everything comes out of white metal and photo etch. So let's have a look at that. So this is the comprehensive photo etch set. So we've got the entire cockpit here with the bulkheads and the sidewalls and the front section as well. So that all folds up into one bit. Then we've got quite a few bits all around here as well, which makes up the other part. So you've got the seat there, which is one bit that you obviously fold around. Eduard still do things like that. You've got some belts, you've got a bracing strap there as well for the fuselage. I think it's a strengthener at some point. Can't think where it is at the minute. Then on the other side, this is actually the entire landing gear part. So I have actually looked at the actual aircraft and it is extremely thin. So this would probably be scale thickness, but you know, the aircraft's going to stand up on that, so it'd be interesting to see how that comes together. Like I said, no promises on building this one, but you never know, one day it might just appear as a build video and that would be a little treat for you, but no plans of yet to start this one. Just thought I'd pick it up as an interesting kit. So there you go, not for the faint-hearted. Then we're on to the engine. So we get a white metal engine there, and we get basically pins, like dressmakers pins in there as well, which, if I remember rightly, gone the wrong way about this, should have shown you the instructions first, but I think those needles or pins, one is certainly used for the control lever, so it goes through the piece of etch metal in the cockpit here, to go through that bit and make up the control lever, or control stick. why you've got so many and where else it can be used, I'm not sure, but yeah, it doesn't very clearly. I thought it was used here, but this is actually photo etch parts that get folded, which are there on the fret. Maybe it's used on the undercarriage. Yes, steel tubes. Right, so we've got a pin. Right, we've got 3 pins and 3 tubes. Right, there we go. That explains that. So the tubes are used here on the undercarriage, so that will give it a little bit more strength, and then the pins are used elsewhere. As I said, very different. You don't see this these days. Interesting little kit. Nice, nice detail on the engine there as well. Different way of doing it in white metal. You don't tend to get that these days. And now let's have a look through the instructions just to see the sort of complexity of the build. So there's the breakdown of what you get. You've got your decals, photo etch engine, the steel tubes and pins, which I should have taken note of, windshield foil, and the plastic parts. And then construction basically is all about photo etch to make up the entire internal part of the aircraft, so cockpit and anything else, and taking on board the instruments, dials and everything else around there. And then you've got pieces of photo etch that go on the sidewalls as well to show you some detail between the bracing. And then it's just a case of bringing it all together. Then you actually drill out the plastic parts to take the wings and that. So you drill these holes. They're pre-marked in the fuselage, but they're not actually drilled out. And then the engine goes on, cowling closes that one up, and then it's onto the undercarriage. And then things are finished off with the machine gun here, which seems to be made out of photo etch and brass tube again, which is quite something. And then we're actually, you've got the main spar then as well for the rigging, and then we're actually into getting the rigging done. So it's all there. I mean, this would be a very good project, I think, but you'd have to be in the right frame of mind to do it. So there we go, the Eduard Morane-Saulnier Type N in 1/48 scale. A blast from the past, 1994-95 boxing. Let me know what you think. Have you got any kits like this in your stash? I mean, I've never seen anything like this before. It was actually my mate put me onto these, you know, trying to impress upon me just how rare they are, I suppose. And you don't see them, and they were quite a good price as well. So I thought I'd pick one up. I say them because I've got another one. But it's not Eduard. It's I've got this one. So you might have a look at that one as well, the Phoenix D1, which again is a box full of plastic and metal. So let me know if you like this sort of video. Let me know in the comments below, and we can have a look at this Phoenix D1. Maybe have a look at some other vintage kits that I've got in the collection. And as always, if you've enjoyed this video, please consider giving it a like, subscribe if you want to see more, and I'll see you in the next video.